In the year 2150, Earth was on the brink of collapse. Decades of environmental disasters, resource depletion, and internal conflict had left humanity struggling to survive. The skies were gray with smog, oceans swallowed cities whole, and governments teetered on the edge of collapse. But worse than all of this was a threat looming in the stars. A massive alien fleet known as the Zorathians was heading toward Earth. Their insectoid ships filled the void of space like a swarm of locusts, their jagged designs gleaming ominously under the light of distant suns. The Zorathians were ruthless conquerors, wiping out civilizations across the galaxy without mercy. Humanity's defenses, already weakened by years of neglect, were no match for their advanced technology. Captain Yoon Tae-hyun stood on the observation deck of the United Nations Space Command, UNSC headquarters, staring at the incoming fleet through a thick glass window. He was a tall man in his mid-40s, with sharp features and short black hair streaked with gray. His uniform was crisp, but there was a weariness in his eyes that betrayed years of hard decisions and sleepless nights. "We're running out of time," he muttered under his breath. Beside him stood Dr. Ji-Eun-soo, a young engineer known for her brilliance and relentless curiosity. She adjusted her glasses nervously as she studied the data streaming across the screens. "Their weapons are far beyond anything we've seen before," she said softly. "If they attack, we won't last more than a few hours." Tae-hyun sighed. "Then we'd better hope they don't attack." Before Eun-soo could respond, alarms blared throughout the building. Officers rushed to their stations, shouting updates as sensors detected movement near the edge of the solar system. On the main screen, dozens of dots appeared, ships larger and more menacing than anything humanity had ever encountered. "They're here," someone whispered, the fear in their voice echoing through the room. As the Zorathian fleet approached, panic spread across the globe. Cities erupted into chaos as people fled their homes, seeking shelter underground or in remote areas. Military forces scrambled jets and deployed ground troops, though everyone knew it was futile. The Zorathians' weapons could vaporize entire cities with a single shot. Against such power, humanity's efforts were little more than gestures of defiance. But then, something unexpected happened. Just as the Zorathians prepared to launch their assault, another fleet emerged from hyperspace. These ships were sleek and metallic, their designs elegant yet intimidating. They positioned themselves between Earth and the Zorathians, forming a protective barrier. A voice boomed across communication channels, deep and mechanical, but calm. "This planet is under our protection," the voice declared. "Leave now or face the consequences." The Zorathians hesitated, their movement slowing as they assessed the new arrivals. After a tense standoff, they retreated, disappearing into the depths of space as quickly as they had come. Silence fell over the command center. No one moved, too stunned to speak. Finally, Tae-hyun broke the quiet. "Who or what are they?" The answer came moments later. A holographic figure materialized in the center of the room, a towering alien with an elongated frame and glowing eyes. Its exoskeleton shimmered faintly, reflecting the dim light. "We are the Vorthax," it said, its voice resonating with authority. "We have vowed to protect weaker species from those who seek to destroy them. You need not fear. We will defend your world." The creature introduced itself as Kale, leader of the Vorthax fleet. It explained that the Vorthax traveled the galaxy fulfilling a sacred duty, safeguarding civilizations unable to protect themselves. Humanity, it seemed, had been added to their list. Lieutenant Kim Min-soo, a daring pilot with reputation for taking risks, leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "Why would you help us? What do you get out of it?" Kale tilted its head slightly, as if considering the question. "We do not act out of self-interest. Our purpose is to preserve life where it exists. That is all." Tae-hyun exchanged a glance with Eun-soo, both of them skeptical but unwilling to argue. With the Zorathians retreating, humanity had no choice but to accept the Vorthax's offer. For now. Over the following days, the Vorthax took control of Earth's defense systems, deploying advanced shields and weapons around the planet. Their technology was unlike anything humanity had ever seen, capable of repelling even the most devastating attacks. Civilians cheered the arrival of their alien saviors, hailing them as heroes. But not everyone was convinced. General Choi Jun-ho, a grizzled veteran of countless conflicts, voiced his concerns during a meeting with Taehyun and his team. These Vorthax, they're powerful, yes, but can we really trust them? What happens when the Zorathians return? Will they stay, or will they abandon us? Taehyun nodded, sharing the general's unease. We'll keep an eye on them. For now, we focus on surviving. Eun-Soo spent her days studying fragments of Vorthax technology scavenged from damaged equipment. Her lab became a hive of activity as she worked tirelessly to decipher their secrets. Though grateful for the Vorthax's intervention, she couldn't shake the feeling that relying on aliens was a dangerous gamble. Min-Soo, meanwhile, led reconnaissance missions to monitor both the Vorthax and the Zorathians. His fighter squadron patrolled the edges of Earth's orbit, gathering intelligence and preparing for the possibility of another attack. Despite the Vorthax's assurances, he remained wary. They saved us today, he told Taehyun after one mission. But tomorrow? Who knows? Taehyun shared his concerns, but knew there was little they could do. Humanity was weak, divided, and unprepared for the challenges ahead. If the Vorthax truly intended to protect Earth, then perhaps their arrival was a blessing. But if not, the consequences could be catastrophic. As the days passed, the Vorthax proved themselves capable defenders. Their ships patrolled the skies, their weapons ready to strike at any sign of aggression. The Zorathians did not return, and slowly, life on Earth began to stabilize. People rebuilt their homes, hoping that the worst was behind them. But deep down, Taehyun couldn't shake the feeling that the Vorthax's promise was too good to be true. Something about their presence felt off, and as he gazed out at the stars, he wondered what price humanity might have to pay for their salvation. The Vorthax had been on Earth for weeks, and their presence was both a relief and a source of unease. Their sleek ships patrolled the skies, their advanced technology forming an impenetrable shield around the planet. The Zorathians had not returned, and humanity began to breathe a little easier. But as time passed, questions about the Vorthax's true intentions grew louder. Captain Yoon Taehyun spent his days coordinating with Kale, the Vorthax leader, trying to understand their plans and motivations. Kale was polite but distant, offering little beyond vague assurances that they were there to protect Earth. His glowing eyes betrayed no emotion, and his responses to Taehyun's questions were always measured and cryptic. "You need not concern yourselves with the details," Kale would say. "Trust in our ability to defend you." But trust was hard to come by. Dr. Ji-Eun-Soo worked tirelessly in her lab, studying fragments of Vorthax technology scavenged from damaged equipment. Her team analyzed every piece, hoping to uncover clues about how the alien systems worked. What she discovered troubled her. The Vorthax tech was incredibly advanced, far beyond anything humanity could replicate, but also seemed to have a mind of its own. Circuits pulsed faintly, almost alive, responding to touch and thought in ways she couldn't fully explain. "They're hiding something," Eun-Soo told Taehyun one evening as they reviewed data in the command center. "This isn't just machinery. It's adaptive, intelligent. I don't think they're telling us everything." Taehyun nodded grimly. He had suspected as much. The Vorthax's secrecy was unsettling, and their refusal to share even basic information about their technology only deepened the mistrust. Still, he knew humanity had no choice but to rely on them, for now. "Keep digging," he said. "If there's a weakness or a catch, we need to know." Lieutenant Kim Min-Soo shared their concerns. As leader of the reconnaissance squadron, he flew daily patrols around Earth's orbit, monitoring both the Vorthax and the edges of the solar system for signs of the Zorathians. His missions brought him closer to the alien fleet than anyone else, giving him a front-row view of their operations. What he saw made him uneasy. "They're efficient," Min-Soo reported during a briefing. "Too efficient. Their ships move like clockwork, and their weapons are ready to fire at a moment's notice. But they never let us get close enough to see what's really going on inside. It's like they're keeping us at arm's length." General Choi Junho, who had voiced skepticism from the start, grew increasingly vocal about his distrust. "They promise to defend us, but they won't even tell us how," he argued during a meeting with Taehyun and his team. "What happens when the Zorathians return? Will they fight alongside us, or will they leave us to die?" Taehyun tried to reassure him, though his own doubts lingered. "We don't have a choice right now. If we push too hard, we risk losing their protection entirely. Junho scowled. And if we don't push, we risk becoming their puppets. Is that any better? As tension simmered, civilians began to question the Vorthax's presence as well. Protests erupted in cities across the globe, with some demanding transparency and others calling for the aliens to leave altogether. News outlets broadcast heated debates, while social media buzzed with conspiracy theories. Were the Vorthax truly here to help, or did they have ulterior motives? No one knew for sure, and the uncertainty bred fear. Despite the growing unrest, life on Earth slowly began to stabilize. Cities that had been abandoned during the initial panic were reclaimed, powered by Vorthax-provided energy grids. Farms sprang back to life, feeding populations that had gone hungry for months. Even the skies seemed clearer, though whether this was due to the Vorthax's efforts or simply the absence of human activity remained unclear. Unsu continued her work, driven by the belief that understanding the Vorthax's technology was key to ensuring humanity's survival. Her breakthrough came late one night, when she discovered a strange pattern in the data. The circuits she had been studying didn't just respond to external stimuli. They adapted based on the emotions and thoughts of those nearby. It was as if the technology could read minds. This changes everything, she whispered to herself, her heart racing. She immediately contacted Taehyun, explaining her findings. Their tech isn't just advanced, it's sentient. It learns, evolves, and responds to us. If we can harness it, we might be able to fend ourselves without relying on them. Taehyun listened carefully, his expression darkening. Or it could be a trap. What if they're using it to control us? I don't think so, Unsu replied. Not yet, anyway. But we need to be careful. This kind of power, it could be dangerous in the wrong hands. While Unsu focused on unraveling the mysteries of Vorthax technology, Minsu led a daring mission to gather intelligence directly from the alien fleet. Under cover of darkness, his squadron approached one of the larger ships, scanning its hull for weak points. The Vorthax detected them almost immediately, sending out drones to intercept. Minsu ordered his pilots to retreat, but not before capturing valuable data. When he returned to base, he shared his findings with Taehyun and Unsu. Their shields are strong but not invincible, he said. If we hit them at the right frequency, we might be able to disable them temporarily. But why would we need to do that unless they turn on us? Taehyun finished, his voice heavy with dread. Minsu nodded. Exactly. The possibility hung in the air like a storm cloud, casting a shadow over everything they had achieved. Humanity was safer with the Vorthax than without them, but at what cost? Were they trading freedom for security? And if the Vorthax decided to leave, or worse, betray them, would humanity be strong enough to stand on its own? One evening, as Taehyun stood on the observation deck gazing at the stars, Unsu joined him. Do you think we'll ever truly understand them? She asked softly. I don't know, Taehyun admitted. But I do know one thing. We can't afford to be complacent. If we're going to survive, we need to prepare for anything, even the worst. Unsu nodded, her resolve firm. Then we keep working, keep learning. Whatever happens, we'll be ready. The uneasy alliance between humanity and the Vorthax continued, but cracks were beginning to show. The alien secretive nature and refusal to share their technology fueled growing distrust among humans. While the Zorathians had retreated for now, the threat still loomed large, and many feared the Vorthax might abandon Earth when it mattered most. Tensions reached a boiling point when a rogue faction within the United Nations Space Command, UNSC, decided to take matters into its own hands. General Choi Junho, who had long opposed relying on the Vorthax, formed a secret group of soldiers and scientists determined to expose the aliens' true motives. Calling themselves the Iron Resolve, they believe humanity should fight its own battles rather than depend on an alien species with unknown intentions. Junho argued that accepting the Vorthax's help was a sign of weakness, one that could doom humanity in the long run. We can't trust them, Junho declared during a clandestine meeting with his followers. They've given us protection, yes, but at what cost? Are we willing to trade our freedom for safety? His words resonated with many, especially those who had lost loved ones in earlier conflicts or felt betrayed by the lack of transparency from Vorthax. The Iron Resolve began covert operations to sabotage the aliens' efforts, targeting key installations and gathering intelligence on their technology. Their goal was simple: force the Vorthax to reveal their true agenda, or drive them away entirely. Captain Yoon Tae-hyun remained unaware of these activities at first, focused instead on maintaining peace and preparing for the Zorathians' inevitable return. But as reports of mysterious attacks on Vorthax outposts began to surface, he grew suspicious. Equipment went missing, communication systems malfunctioned, and drones patrolling Earth's orbit were found disabled. At first, the Vorthax dismissed these incidents as minor disruptions, but Kale eventually confronted Tae-hyun directly. "Your people are testing us," Kale said, his glowing eyes narrowing. "Why?" Tae-hyun hesitated, unsure how to respond. He hadn't authorized any such actions, but he couldn't deny the possibility that rogue elements within humanity were behind the sabotage. "I don't know who's responsible," he admitted finally, "but I'll find out." Kale's tone hardened. "If this continues, we may reconsider our commitment to protecting your world." The warning sent shockwaves through the UNSC leadership. Without the Vorthax's shields and weapons, Earth would be defenseless against the Zorathians. Tae-hyun ordered an investigation, enlisting Dr. Ji Eun-soo and Lieutenant Kim Min-soo to assist. Eun-soo analyzed evidence from the sabotage sites, while Min-soo led reconnaissance missions to track down the perpetrators. Their efforts paid off when Min-soo intercepted a transmission from the Iron Resolve, revealing their plans to launch a major attack on a Vorthax command center. Armed with this information, Tae-hyun confronted General Junho, demanding answers. "You're risking everything we've worked for," Tae-hyun said angrily. "Do you realize what will happen if the Vorthax leave because of your actions?" Junho stood firm, his expression unyielding. "And what happens if they stay? They'll strip us of our independence, turn us into puppets. Is that the future you want?" "It's not about what I want," Tae-hyun shot back. "It's about survival. If the Zorathians return, we won't stand a chance without the Vorthax. You're gambling with billions of lives." Despite Tae-hyun's pleas, Junho refused to back down. The Iron Resolve carried out their plan, launching a coordinated assault on the Vorthax command center. Using modified weapons based on Eun-soo's research, they managed to breach the facility's defenses and infiltrate its core. But their victory was short-lived. Kale appeared in the heart of the facility, surrounded by a swarm of Vorthax drones. His voice boomed with authority. "You have crossed a line," he said, his tone cold and unforgiving. "We came to protect you, yet you betray us. Why should we continue to shield a species incapable of unity?" Before Junho could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. Sensors detected a massive surge of energy emanating from deep space. The Zorathians were returning. The timing couldn't have been worse. With the Vorthax distracted by internal conflict and the Iron Resolve's attack crippling their defenses, Earth was vulnerable. Tae-hyun arrived just in time to witness the chaos. He stepped between Kale and Junho, his voice firm but desperate. "This isn't the time to fight each other. If we don't work together, none of us will survive." For a moment, no one moved. Then, slowly, Kale lowered his weapon. "Very well," he said. "But know this, your actions have consequences." Junho reluctantly stood down, though his distrust of the Vorthax remained unchanged. Together, the unlikely allies prepared for the battle ahead. Eun-soo used her knowledge of Vorthax technology to repair the damaged systems, while Min-soo rallied pilots for a joint offensive against the Zorathians. Humanity and the Vorthax set aside their differences, at least for now, and focused on the common enemy. As the Zorathian fleet descended upon Earth, the combined forces launched a desperate counterattack. Human ships outfitted with hybrid technology fought alongside Vorthax cruisers, their combined firepower holding the invaders at bay. Min-soo led daring maneuvers, weaving through enemy fire with precision. Eun-soo monitored the battle from the command center, coordinating strategies and rerouting energy to critical systems. The fight was brutal and chaotic, with losses on both sides. But slowly, the tide turned. A well-timed strike by Min-soo's squadron disabled the Zorathian flagship, causing their fleet to retreat once again. Cheers erupted across Earth as the threat subsided, for now. After the battle, tensions between humanity and the Vorthax remained high. Kale addressed Taehyun and his team, his tone measured but firm. Your species has shown courage and ingenuity, but trust must be earned. We will remain to defend you, but only if you prove yourselves worthy. Taehyun nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. We'll do whatever it takes. As the dust settled, humanity faced a new reality. The Vorthax weren't saviors. They were partners, and partnership required effort from both sides. Junho and his followers were arrested, their actions serving as a reminder of the dangers of division. Eun-Soo continued her research, determined to unlock the secrets of Vorthax technology and ensure humanity would never be dependent on anyone else again. Standing on the observation deck, Taehyun gazed at the stars, his mind racing with possibilities. The road ahead would be difficult, but for the first time in a long time, there was hope. Humanity had proven it could stand alongside, even against aliens, and perhaps, in time, it could earn their trust. The victory against the Zorathians was a turning point, but it came at a cost. The fragile trust between humanity and the Vorthax had been shaken to its core. While the aliens remained to defend Earth, their presence felt more like an occupation than a partnership. Kale's words echoed in Captain Yoon Taehyun's mind. Trust must be earned. Humanity had shown courage and ingenuity, but the question lingered. Was it enough? Dr. Ji Eun-Soo threw herself into her work, determined to bridge the gap between humans and Vorthax. Her lab became a hub of collaboration, where human engineers and scientists worked alongside Vorthax technicians. It wasn't easy. The aliens were cautious, revealing only what they deemed necessary. But Eun-Soo's persistence paid off. She discovered that the Vorthax technology wasn't just advanced, it was adaptive, capable of evolving based on the user's intentions. This revelation opened new possibilities for cooperation. Eun-Soo shared her findings with Taehyun, her voice tinged with excitement. If we can integrate their systems with ours, we might be able to create something truly unique, something that combines the best of both worlds. Taehyun nodded thoughtfully. It's risky. What if they see it as a threat? It's worth trying, Eun-Soo insisted. We need to show them we're not just passive beneficiaries. We're partners. With Taehyun's approval, Eun-Soo approached Kale with a proposal, a joint project to develop hybrid technology that could enhance Earth's defenses while respecting the Vorthax's principles. Kale listened silently, his glowing eyes unreadable. Finally, he spoke. Your species is unpredictable, but perhaps that unpredictability is your strength. Very well, we will assist, but only if you prove your commitment. The project began immediately, drawing teams from across the globe. Factories once used for weapons production were repurposed to build components for the hybrid systems. Engineers worked tirelessly, combining human ingenuity with Vorthax precision. The result was a fleet of ships unlike anything seen before. Sleek and powerful, equipped with weapons and shields far superior to anything humanity had created on its own. Lieutenant Kim Min-soo took charge of training pilots to operate the new vessels. His enthusiasm was infectious, inspiring recruits to push beyond their limits. He led simulations day and night, testing every aspect of the hybrid ship's capabilities. Though skeptical at first, even the Vorthax observers were impressed by the humans' determination. Their learning quickly, one of the Vorthax technicians remarked during a debriefing. Perhaps faster than we anticipated. Min-soo grinned. Humans adapt. That's what we do best. Despite these advancements, tensions simmered beneath the surface. General Choi Junho, now under house arrest, continued to voice his opposition to the Vorthax alliance. His followers, though scattered, remained active, spreading dissent through underground networks. They argued that humanity should sever ties with the aliens and rely solely on its own strength. Their rhetoric gained traction when rumors spread about the Vorthax secretly experimenting on human prisoners. The accusations were baseless, but fear and paranoia made people believe the worst. Protests erupted in cities worldwide, demanding transparency from both the UNSC and the Vorthax. Taehyun found himself caught between defending the alliance and addressing legitimate concerns. We're walking a tightrope, he confided to Eun-Soo one evening. One wrong move and everything falls apart. Eun-soo nodded grimly. Then we make sure we don't fall. Her resolve strengthened after a breakthrough in her research. She discovered that the Vorthax technology responded not just to logic, but to emotion. By channeling positive emotions like hope and unity, users could amplify its power. It was a revelation that changed everything. Eun-soo realized that the key to earning the Vorthax's trust wasn't just technological, it was emotional. She proposed a bold experiment, a demonstration of humanity's potential using the hybrid ships. The plan involved a mission to intercept a rogue asteroid on a collision course with Earth. It was a real threat, detected weeks earlier, but the Vorthax had dismissed it as insignificant. Eun-soo saw an opportunity to prove that humanity could handle challenges on its own, with their help, not because of it. Taehyun approved the mission, knowing it was a gamble. If successful, it would strengthen the alliance. If not, it could destroy it. Min-soo volunteered to lead the operation, assembling a team of the best pilots. Together, they launched into space aboard the hybrid fleet, their ships gleaming under the light of the sun. The asteroid loomed large as they approached, its jagged surface reflecting the cold emptiness of space. Min-soo coordinated the attack, guiding his squadron with precision. The hybrid ships unleashed bursts of energy, their weapons synchronized perfectly. Slowly, the asteroid began to break apart, its fragments harmlessly drifting away from Earth. Back on the planet, crowds gathered to watch the live broadcast, holding their breath as the mission unfolded. When the asteroid finally disintegrated, cheers erupted around the globe. For the first time in years, humanity felt a sense of pride, not just in survival, but in achievement. Kale watched the event from the Vorthax command center, his expression unreadable. When it was over, he approached Taehyun, his voice calm but firm. You have proven yourselves capable. Perhaps our initial judgment was incomplete. Taehyun allowed himself a small smile. We're still learning, but we're getting better. The success of the mission marked a shift in the relationship between humans and Vorthax. No longer were the aliens distant protectors. They became true partners, working alongside humanity to secure Earth's future. Trust grew slowly but steadily, built on mutual respect and shared goals. Yet, challenges remained. General Junho's faction continued to sow discord, warning that dependence on alien technology would weaken humanity in the long run. Taehyun addressed these concerns directly, speaking to the public about the importance of unity. We can't go back to the way things were, he said during a televised address. But we also can't rely solely on others. Our strength lies in finding balance, in standing on our own while reaching out for help when needed. As months passed, Earth began to heal. Cities rebuilt with sustainable designs, powered by clean energy derived from Vorthax technology. Forests regrew, oceans cleared, and skies brightened. Humanity stepped into a new era of cooperation, joining the Vorthax and exploring the stars. Pilots like Min-soo ventured beyond Earth's solar system, mapping uncharted territories and discovering wonders that inspired awe. Dr. Eun-soo reflected on how far they had come, standing in her lab surrounded by glowing screens and humming machines. We've taken the first step, she said softly, but there's so much more to learn. Captain Taehyun shared her sentiment, gazing at the stars from the observation deck. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges yet unseen. But for the first time in a long time, humanity faced the future with hope rather than fear. Months had passed since the successful asteroid mission, and humanity's partnership with the Vorthax had deepened. The aliens no longer viewed humans as mere beneficiaries of their protection, but as equals capable of contributing to the galaxy's greater good. Trust grew steadily, built on shared victories and mutual respect. But the journey was far from over. Challenges still loomed on the horizon, both within Earth and beyond its borders. Captain Yoon Taehyun stood on the observation deck of the United Nations Space Command UNSC headquarters, gazing at the stars. His mind raced with possibilities and dangers. The Zarathians had retreated after their last defeat, but everyone knew they would return. When they did, humanity needed to be ready, not just to fight alongside the Vorthax, but to stand on its own if necessary. Dr. Ji Eun-soo continued her groundbreaking work, focusing on refining the hybrid technology that had become the cornerstone of Earth's defenses. Her lab buzzed with activity as engineers and scientists collaborated with Vorthax technicians, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The hybrid ships were only the beginning. Unsu envisioned a future where humanity could harness alien knowledge to solve problems like climate restoration, disease eradication, and sustainable energy production. "We're not just building weapons," she told Taehyun during one of their late-night discussions. "We're creating tools for survival, for everyone." Taehyun nodded, though his expression remained thoughtful. "It's a big responsibility. Are we ready for it?" Unsu smiled faintly. "We have to be. There's no other choice." Lieutenant Kim Min-soo, meanwhile, led daring missions into uncharted space, exploring regions of the galaxy never before seen by human eyes. His squadron piloted the hybrid ships, their sleek designs cutting to the void with unmatched speed and precision. Each mission brought new discoveries. Strange planets teeming with alien life, ancient ruins hinting at civilizations long gone, and resources that could transform Earth's economy. Min-soo's bravery inspired others to join the cause, and soon, humanity's reach extended far beyond its solar system. But not everyone shared this vision of unity and progress. General Choi Junho, though stripped of his command, remained a vocal critic of the alliance. From his confinement, he rallied supporters through encrypted messages, warning that humanity's growing reliance on Vorthax technology would lead to its downfall. "They're making us weak," he argued. "What happens when they decide we're no longer useful?" His words found an audience among those who feared change. Protests erupted in cities worldwide, demanding that Earth sever ties with the Vorthax and focus solely on self-reliance. Tensions escalated when rogue factions attacked Vorthax installations, claiming they were acting in humanity's best interest. The attacks forced Kale to reconsider the alliance, and he summoned Taehyun for an urgent meeting. "You must control your people," Kale said, his tone sharp but controlled. "Their actions threaten everything we have built." Taehyun understood the gravity of the situation. Without the Vorthax's support, Earth would be vulnerable to the Zorathians, or worse, abandoned entirely. He addressed the public, appealing for calm and unity. "We've come too far to turn back now," he said during a televised speech. "The Vorthax aren't our masters. They're our partners. Together, we can achieve things none of us could do alone." His words resonated with many, but dissent persisted. To address the root of the problem, Taehyun ordered Lieutenant Min-soo to lead a covert operation targeting Junho's network. Using intelligence gathered from intercepted communications, Min-soo infiltrated the rogue faction's base, capturing key members and disabling their operations. Though Junho himself escaped, the blow to his movement was significant. As the internal conflict subsided, humanity turned its attention outward once again. Reports came in of increased Zorathian activity near Earth's borders, signaling another attack was imminent. This time, however, humanity was better prepared. The hybrid fleet had grown stronger, and pilots trained extensively under Min-soo's leadership. Earth's defenses were bolstered by Vorthax shields, while ground forces equipped with advanced weaponry stood ready to repel any invasion. When the Zorathians finally arrived, their fleet larger and more menacing than ever, humanity faced them head-on. The battle unfolded in the cold vacuum of space, with hybrid ships darting between enemy cruisers, unleashing devastating volleys of energy. Min-soo led his squadron with unmatched skill, coordinating attacks that crippled the Zorathian flagship. Meanwhile, Unsu monitored the battle from the command center, rerouting energy to critical systems and ensuring the hybrids operated at peak efficiency. The turning point came when Taehyun devised a bold strategy. Using the asteroid mission as inspiration, he ordered the hybrid fleet to concentrate fire on a massive asteroid drifting nearby. Pilots redirected its trajectory, sending it hurtling toward the Zorathian fleet. The impact shattered dozens of ships, forcing the invaders to retreat once again. Victory was celebrated across Earth, but Taehyun knew better than to let pride cloud his judgment. "This isn't the end," he reminded his team. "It's just another step." In the aftermath, the bond between humans and Vorthax grew even stronger. Kale acknowledged humanity's growth, offering to share more of their knowledge and technology. "You have proven yourselves worthy," he said. "Perhaps together we can bring peace to the galaxy. With the immediate threat neutralized, humanity stepped into a new era of exploration and cooperation. Cities flourished, powered by clean energy and sustained by restored ecosystems. Scientists worked alongside Vorthax researchers, unlocking mysteries of the universe that had eluded understanding for centuries. Pilots like Minsu ventured deeper into space, mapping new worlds and forging alliances with other species. Dr. Un-Su reflected on how far they'd come, standing in her lab surrounded by glowing screens and humming machines. "We started as survivors," she said softly. "Now we're explorers." Captain Taehyun shared her sentiment, gazing at the stars from the observation deck. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges yet unseen. But for the first time in a long time, humanity faced a future with hope rather than fear. Together with the Vorthax, they had taken the first steps toward a brighter tomorrow, a tomorrow shaped not by division, but by unity. As the starship soared through the cosmos, leaving Earth behind but carrying its hopes and dreams, Taehyun knew one thing for certain. The future was theirs to shape,